Hello, and welcome to another episode of Toonami Pre-Flight. I'm Gil Austin.
I'm Jason DeMarco.
Jason's a little under the weather today, so go gently on him.
I am. I'll try not to get you sick.
I'm impervious to all human disorders, so, other than mental ones.
Gotcha.
Today we are going to be talking about Pilot Candidate. We are going to be talking about some anime that we would like to see have a sequel. Is that grammatically correct? I think we're just going to move forward. We'll have some Facebook choices, both Adult Swim and Toonami's choices. We have a sneak peek of our lineup promo, which, if you were watching last weekend, you may have already sneak peeked yourself.
Yeah, it's somewhat of a not really a sneak peek.
Ta-da!
It's a peek. It's not a sneak.
It's a re-peek, I think, is how we'll start.
Okay.
But you haven't seen.
It's a repeat.
You haven't seen the Saturday version of this promo. You may have seen the next Saturday version.
Okay,
so it's full disclosure.
Gotcha.
We and also have a piece from Dana Swanson, a You Tweet Me Watch of Slayers. But let's start off.
Did that word give you trouble?
No?
Slayers.
Did it? Yeah.
Yeah, you said
Slayers.
next time your old name will be on the tape.
Sometimes the words don't come out as well as you would like them to.
You're also impervious to grammar.
I just keep talking, man, and sometimes the words don't.
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay. Pilot Candidate. Go.
IR Stupard.
Pilot Candidate was originally going to be a Toonami show at one point.
Yeah. Adult Swim aired Pilot Candidate in 2002.
Correct.
When it was sort of just starting, and Adult Swim Action was just starting, and already at that time, Lazo had made a commitment to himself, really. I say a commitment, but
he
had decided that anime should be a part of the fabric of Adult Swim because, of course, he hates anime. So from the very beginning, he always decided, I want this thing that I
executive
hate.
Who single-handedly has brought more anime to the United States than any other human being clearly wants to see it.
I hate anime, so I'm definitely going to put it on this new thing I'm doing that's not even every day of the week. So in the early days of Adult Swim, the action anime that we showed was mostly shows that Toonami had been looking at, and some of which we couldn't get for Toonami because they couldn't be edited or were too violent or, whatever. And then some of which were just sort of in play. And at the time, we were doing a whole lot of business with Bandai America.
Rest in peace.
Shout out to Ken Iadomi. And we had made a bunch of deals for a bunch of shows sort of at the same time. And Pilot Candidate was one of the ones that was initially being looked at for Toonami because Ken knew that we love giant robots, and he was like, hey, I got this other giant robot show. I mean, maybe you'll like it. It's only, 12 episodes or whatever, but
12.
Yeah, but maybe you guys will want to show it. So we were like, yeah, okay, because he kind of like, it wasn't, we paid for it, but it was more added value to other deals.
Yeah.
So we were like, okay, so we'll check it out. And we checked it out, and we were like, it didn't feel right for Toonami. Mostly because we didn't like it that much, but also because it felt really slow, and Toonami was a kid's block at the time, and we were already at that time starting to be pressured to keep things kid-friendly and not get too adulty. So,
and with the advent of Adult Swim, then it was easier for people to say,
oh, this belongs on Adult Swim. So it was somewhat of a mutual decision. Lazo said, oh, I'll take it. Why not? And then we said, yeah, that's fine, because we weren't that into it anyway.
And also he outranks us, so we didn't really have a choice.
We'll let you do this, boss. So yeah, that's how Pilot Candidate ended up on Adult Swim. And then it ran off and on for like a year or two and didn't really make much of a splash in terms of ratings.
Yeah, it was sort of caught in between two worlds because it was originally going to be Toonami. It was edited down for content, but
I didn't remember that.
Then ran on Adult Swim as an edited Y7 kid show.
Yeah, that happened with one of the Gundams too, as I recall. I think MA0083. I don't know. Anyway,
one of them. Let us know at Facebook.com/Toonami.
But yeah, so we ended up. We did, at that time, we did all the Adult Swim action promotion.
Yes.
So all of that early phase with the computer voice stuff, that was all...
That was my voice.
Basically, that was the Toonami staff. So I don't remember
I wrote
who
this
cut
one.
this promo.
I don't remember who edited it.
Terrible writing on this.
Wouldn't have been
terrible. Just a real
Johnny.
autopilot gig. I don't know who
Sarah,
edited
probably?
it. Yeah, it was either Johnny or Sarah. But so let's check out the promo
It's
we aired
amazing. Right. Listen to the words
for Pilot Candidate.
Alright, wait, keep out shield! Roger, coordinates set. Engaging shields from S0 to S3. Hurry up!
Red alert, pilots. We will go with formation 5B. Engage attack right now.
Victims, approaching.
Don't let the enemy get anywhere near side.
Stay down. Energy recharge complete.
Being called. Floating in the vast darkness of space exists the Pilot Training Academy Go.
We humans cannot lose the last star.
Pilot Candidate. Saturday night at midnight.
That's the only one I could find online, but we made more than one. But yeah, so that was the era of Adult Swim action where Adult Swim action had a slightly different look from Adult Swim comedy. We didn't use the everybody out of the pool sort of look, which people seem to have real nostalgia for. I don't. But anyway.
Shout out Matt Pacini.
Shout out Matt Pacini, though. So we used this custom look that we designed super cheaply for Adult Swim action, and then we knew we needed voiceover, but Lazo was very adamant at the time that he really didn't want voiceover in promos, so my stopgap solution was, why don't we just take this Macintosh robot voice and we'll just do all our stuff with this robot voice. And I have to say, I still like it and wish we could use it now because I find it very relaxing.
As the senior vice president in charge of Adult Swim on air, aren't you empowered to make those decisions?
I am, but I would have to argue with Lazo about it too.
Okay.
So, also, there's no good reason to do it now. So that's maybe a bigger point. But yeah, so Pilot Candidate, though, actually, it didn't do very well here. It didn't do very well in Japan, so it didn't have more episodes. They did have like a closing out OVA, but even that didn't really have an ending. So Pilot Candidate fans, like, not only did the show not have an ending, they then did a follow-up OVA, which also didn't have an ending. So it was sort of like a real blue ball show if you were a
really
fan.
setting up the third OVA.
So, but it was a manga that ran for a number of years and had a decent amount of volumes, and then the show itself was created by Zbeck, which is a subsidiary at the time of Production IG, and directed by our very own Mitsuru Hongo. Shout out to Hongo-san, who went on to direct IGPX and who also directed Outlaw Star, and who's done a bunch of Crayon Shin-Chan, who's a very, very good director and a very nice man. But this show, to me, didn't feel like it really came together, and I think that's why it didn't catch on that well. Like, it's a early example of what became quite common, which is the CGI toon hybrid, and I think it feels like an early version of it. Like, it feels a little rough with the CGI. They used all these same techniques on IGPX 3 years later, which I think 4 years later, which I think actually they vastly improved upon by then. But you know, at this stage, it was still sort of, it was ahead of its time, or really cutting edge in terms of the technology used to make the show, but the actual show itself is just not. I don't think it came together. Like,
and
there's
the dub is not.
No, the
great.
dub's the dub's not great either, and there's that's a problem. But there's it's got a cool mythology. Everyone lives in this place called Zion, and it's the future. And there's an aliens that are attacking. Are they called Victim? Or
Yeah.
they're called Victim. And so there's a school training these pilots to pilot these giant robots that will then fight the aliens. So, like, you know, your basic sort of giant robot show setup, which I think there's always room for good stuff in there, especially a training academy with teenage kids.
Yeah.
But all the interpersonal dynamics are super kind of dry, and, like, I also felt like the costumes were really weird. There's a lot of, like, wow, crazy, like,
It's sort of
1970s
Sailor Moon
musical outfits, like, you know.
meets Interstellar 555.
Yeah. But so, yeah, it ultimately, I think, was more of a stylistic exercise than anything else, and didn't really catch on for that reason. And I don't think, I've never read the manga. Have you read?
No.
So I don't know, like, how much more there is to the mythology and how much more interesting the manga might be.
I also haven't seen the uncut
Yeah, that's the other thing. You can't, I mean,
because it's goddesses of.
I heard,
America or whatever
if
it's
people
called.
want to see it, I heard that it will be re-released soonish on DVD. But So if you want to see it, but for now, the only real place I could find it was YouTube, where it's all sped up.
Which I still don't understand how that gets you around copyright.
Because it's an auto thing that scrubs every YouTube video. Like it's a program.
But it just seems like,
So it just tells like, oh, copyright infringement.
yeah, it just seems like you would just take it down.
I don't
understand how that's
because you care. Man.
All right, look,
you care enough. You want Pilot Candidate to be out there
in a really weird Chipmunks fashion.
So this is an example of a show we don't really want to see a sequel for. Personally, maybe it should be a remake.
Yeah.
You know, I would even bring Hongo back for a remake. I would just sort of look at what went wrong and try to do it again right. But anyway,
we don't currently have plans for that, so
no.
Don't write in wondering when that's going to.
So that's Pilot Candidate. I wish we had more insightful stuff to say about it, but you wanted to know. There it is.
Indeed.
Formerly a Toonami show, became an Adult Swim action show, a little bit of both.
Yeah. The Luxembourg.
So let's go on to our topic of
early
the day.
2000s anime.
Which is, what anime would you most like to have a sequel? Which that doesn't feel grammatically correct.
Sometimes it doesn't play as
That's
well
not right. That's not right. But anyway.
To which anime
we're locked into it now, but that is not grammatically correct. All right, so my first choice is a show we've talked about several times, and several people have asked me if we were going to make one, but we can't, so don't even ask that question. Again, anyway. My first choice that I would like to see in more episodes of is Dead Man Wonderland, which we showed when Toonami premiered in 2012 upon our return to Adult Swim, and was a surprise hit for us. It was another show like Pilot Candidate or like Big O or like any number of shows that didn't really take off in Japan, but for some reason really resonated with American audiences, and did well enough here that we ended up bringing it back for a rerun because people kept asking for it, and it did well in the rerun.
And that was pretty early on, obviously, in our rebirth, so it was, some people had missed the earlier episodes and caught on at the end. It was a show that everyone was like, this show, and then at the end they were like,
this is a pretty good show. I mean, it was kind of like Michiko and Hachin. It was the same thing. It was like, people were like, whatever, that show. And then by the end, we're like, that was a good show. So I'm glad we were able to shine a little light on Dead Man Wonderland. I love the aspects of the show. The world of Dead Man Wonderland is super interesting to me. The story doesn't really resolve. I believe that the manga went on for a while, so I know that there's more story to tell. And I personally would love to go back to these characters and explore more of this world. I definitely think you could make OVAs, and I have no idea. I guess it just wasn't popular in Japan enough that anyone cares enough about it, but maybe one day. But for now, here's our promo for Dead Man Wonderland if you don't know what the hell we're talking about.
What the hell? A classroom full of kids has been murdered. The only survivor, Ganta Igarashi.
The only recourse that we have is capital punishment.
Wrongfully convicted, Ganta has been shipped off to the worst place on Earth. Dead Man Wonderland. One part amusement park, one part maximum security lockdown.
This is life, boys.
The only way to survive is to fight.
Now you'll see him suffer the slings and arrows.
But Ganta's got a special talent. He's a dead man. His ticket to fame and glory? A brutal blood sport called Carnival Corpse.
The bloodiest, awesomest attraction in the whole park.
Only the very strong or very insane make it out in one piece. Can Ganta survive this crazy world? Or is he just more meat for the grinder? Dead Man Wonderland, Saturday nights at 12:30. Get busy living or get busy dying. Only Toonami on Adult Swim.
It was a nice, gory sort of, this ain't your mama's Toonami, right. This ain't your daddy's Toonami sort of show. You did that promo, Gil?
Yeah, I wrote it and Johnny edited it.
So yeah, I mean, I would like to see more Dead Man Wonderland.
For sure.
And many fans have asked, hey, when's there going to be more Dead Man Wonderland? We often get sort of less knowledgeable anime fans, or less nerdy, who ask us about shows like, hey, when are you guys going to make more Attack on Titans? And it's always like, we don't make Attack on Titan.
That's not what we do here.
We license it and show it, but we don't make it, so we can't really help you there. So
we hope to be licensing more Attack on Titan in the not-so-distant future.
And Deadman, as does everyone else. But Dead Man Wonderland, I think the rights are all tied up in weird ways. You know, of course, we've gone into this before on the show, the labyrinthine ways that anime get made, and I think Dead Man's one of those that's got a complicated sort of history, and parties in Japan have to be excited about wanting to make more for that to happen. So write your local Japanese congressman or whatever they have there, parliamentarian, right? Parliament? They have a parliament.
Yeah, but I don't think parliamentarian is
been there
political.
been there 7 times. So
next time we'll go see how the political.
What do they call a member of parliament?
Minister.
Well, that's not just any member of the parliament.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna have to look that up on our next break because I don't trust Gil at all.
As well, you shouldn't.
Yeah, I know exactly. That's just good business. So my next choice for a show I would like to see more episodes of is, of course, the classic Rurouni Kenshin. Kenshin came to Toonami in the early 2000s. We showed a bunch of it, but we did not finish it because the ratings dropped off, and
because of you,
our impatient masters demanded that we push the show and make way for new stuff. But even then, the anime didn't wrap up. There's a whole nother arc of the manga that the anime never dealt with. So whether it would be, I mean, the other thing is he's such a great character that he's a wandering ronin. So it's like, for me, those sorts of characters, the beauty of them is that they could sort of show up anywhere, and you're just like, it's sometime in their journeys. Yeah. You know what I mean? So whether it's a prequel or in between other events or filler, or just another adventure with this character, or continuing the manga, I think Kenshin is a super strong character, and I don't, for the life of me, understand why they haven't made more of them. They've made live-action movies.
And, Japanese Hollywood again.
There are these live-action movies that are sort of being made right now of Kenshin in Japan that are pretty popular, but I don't really care for them, and I think the manga is, the anime is a better sort of version of the character for me. So I would just love to see more episodes. But if you don't know what we're talking about, here is our original Toonami promo written by Dennis Maloney and edited by...
Rest in peace.
Cahill?
Probably.
Yeah, from back in the day for Rurouni Kenshin. Here you go.
Japan, 1867. The Tokugawa dynasty stands upon failing legs. An invincible samurai, Kenshin Himura, walks the path of death and destruction, ushering in a new regime. Hated and feared by many, he is known as Hidokiri Batosai, the Manslayer. In retribution for his deeds, he has taken an oath to protect the innocent and never kill again. But old memories seldom fade, and bad habits die hard.
What are you, another wannabe samurai?
I wasn't finished speaking.
Rurouni Kenshin premieres Monday, March 17th at 6:30. Only Toonami.
Toonami birthday anniversary premiere. I didn't remember that.
Yep. So yeah, I would love to see more Kenshin, and perhaps you would too. So my final choice for a show I would like to see more episodes of probably won't also come as a surprise to anyone. But speaking of Mitsuru Hongo, I would argue his finest hour thus far as a director. Huh?
IGPX.
IGPX. This show's a little better than IGPX. Okay. I like IGPX, but I'm talking about Outlaw Star. Outlaw Star ran in I don't know when it ran in the early 2000s at some point. We also ran Outlaw Star is one of the experimental shows that helped pave the way for Adult Swim because we aired less edited versions of it at midnight.
I think 99.
Yeah. And is one of the shows people keep coming back and talking to us about that they want to see back as a rerun, or are we going to make more? And I would love to make more Outlaw Stars. And it's really, I don't so much, the show wraps up pretty neatly. So story-wise, I don't know that you need more, surrounding this core group. I don't know if you need.
Would you want to see a reboot of it, or would you want to see
I don't need
in the world? Or?
I don't think a reboot. I think for me it would be more in the world. I just think it's a fascinating universe that they built with the galactic ley lines and the On 10-7 and like all these different factions. Like it just seemed, it was very in the way of a space opera like Star Wars or Guardians of the Galaxy. It just made it really made a believable world that I think you could have more adventures in. I don't think you necessarily need to have all of these characters, although you could certainly have like Aisha Clan come back, or but I definitely think it's ripe for a reimagining or a continuation or a prequel or whatever. There's just I think there's more to tell in that world, and I would love to see another creator tackle it. So if you don't know what we're talking about, I think you know what's about to happen here. We're going to show you our original promo for Outlaw Star from back in the day.
Jim! Short barrel blaster!
Got it!
How you like that? Dodge it! Faster! Let's rock!
Away.
Jim, give me a number 3.
We've only got one of those bullets left.
Just give it to me.
Caster.
Eat this. Faster.
They've been killed.
It seems that we have underestimated our opponents.
Damn right.
Yeah, sorry, not the trailer, but a dope scene. One of my favorite scenes. Just stuff like the caster gun, and it just feels like there's a history to this world that you're sort of in the middle of, and I'd love to know more about all of it, which is what any good science fiction or fantasy does. It builds a world that you want to live in more.
Yeah.
And
the mystical aspects,
yeah,
combined with the Western aspects.
I mean, well, Outlaw Star is one of the few shows I think I would want to see a live action version of too. I mean, I would be into a live action version of Outlaw Star. I think you could totally do that. I don't know that anyone will, but someone should.
I don't think anyone will, but someone should.
Well, that's it for me.
Okay, thanks for joining us today.
Gil doesn't need to give any of this. No one cares what Gil thinks.
I second all of Jason's choices.
Yeah, there you go. So we're done.
First up for me is another Adult Swim action show, early Adult Swim action show that we worked on, and that is Trigun.
Trigun.
I think that when you're looking for more episodes, it's sort of two things. It's either the story didn't finish, or you just really like the world that it lives in. Trigun is kind of both of these. It ends not terribly, but there's definitely room for more story.
It doesn't.
If you haven't seen it,
it doesn't end definitively.
Yeah, it seems very much like they were hoping for another season, and that season never materialized. So it's sort of this is the ending of a chapter, but it's not the ending of the world. But this is the original Trigun promo for Adult Swim Action, which you wrote and used. Do you remember what that guy's name is?
Sean Polinsky. Crash.
No. The VO guy.
Oh no, but
he's the manager in Major League.
He's been in a million movies. We originally, the only piece of backstory that might be interesting is we reached out to. I always envisioned Sam Elliott for this promo, and we reached out to him because he does voiceover work.
Right.
And his voiceover person came back to us and said, Sam doesn't like cartoons. He only does voiceover work for things for things he likes. So he does beef because he likes beef. He's like, but they straight up said, they weren't like, no thanks. They were like, Sam doesn't like cartoons.
Yeah, get out of here.
All right, cool. So our second choice was this guy who I also love, who's a character actor who'd been around for years. And he's just got a crazy gravelly Western voice. So it was awesome to use him.
Yeah. So here's this promo.
In a distant, dusty future, Vash the Stampede is the man everybody wants to get their hands on. Good luck, fellas. You're gonna need a whole lot of bullets.
Wherever this man goes, he always leaves trouble behind him.
Over half the town ain't nothing but rubble.
Vash the Stampede, he's coming our way, he's coming!
Dragon, premiering Monday, March 31st at midnight on Adult Swim. Draw, partner.
I love his read on Dragon.
Draw, partner. Dragon.
A whole lot of bullets.
Yeah, you just wanted a guy who could say draw, partner, and sound good saying it.
So, yeah, Sam Elliott, if you're watching, you missed your opportunity. But,
you screwed up, Sam Elliott.
If you've changed
you
your mind
could have been a part of history,
on animation history, you feel free to reach out to us.
You go back to your friggin' beef commercials,
Facebook.com/Toonami and let us know that you're
good enough
around.
for Roadhouse, but not Trigun, Sam.
Yeah.
Come on, Sam.
Roadhouse. We've already covered Roadhouse.
Hey, Sam, I've seen Shakedown, okay? So I know your secrets. Anyway.
Do you think that was impactful while he was watching the Toonami stream? Do you think Sam Elliott imagined that he would be called out like that?
I think this is going to get to him through his people.
Okay.
I bet they're scouring the internet,
Trigun,
searching for his name.
I really like the world. I like the show. I would like to see where it goes from here, but we probably will never know.
I don't know. It wasn't an unpopular show. It was another show that took off more in the U.S. than Japan, but did okay in Japan. And you still see cosplay for Trigun, mostly because he has a crazy, awesome outfit.
Yeah.
But you still see cosplay for it. So my feeling is that somebody might bring that one back. I think that one's got a better shot than any of the shows I talked about, to be honest.
Which is still a pretty small percentage.
Well, you never know these days, man. They're bringing back Twin Peaks. They brought back Mr. Show. They brought back friggin' Full House. Literally anything goes today, man. I don't know.
Fucking millennials.
We're bringing back Fooly Cooley. Like, literally anything is possible these days.
Yeah. In full disclosure, we are not bringing back Trigun.
We're not bringing back any of these shows.
None of these shows we're talking about.
But that doesn't mean they won't come back.
This is not like us ceding any future ground. So
it's all right.
Sign the waiver and give us your fingerprints. Next up for me is Bleach, which, despite the fact that there are 366 episodes, still doesn't really end. You get to the end. That Bleach was sort of, because there's so many episodes of the manga and so many episodes of the show, it was constantly sort of catching up and then waiting and re-catching up. So there's a lot of filler arcs. So the final
filler.
I know so they decided not to commit the ultimate sin and have another filler arc at the end. So they just fell on their sword and ended the show. Despite the fact that there is now another set of the manga that you could then make more episodes of and wrap up the story.
Well, I think this is actually the most likely to come back of any of the shows we've talked about.
Because
I revised my previous statement.
It's new. It's amazingly popular. I mean, it's like it's not 20 years ago.
No, it's it was a huge show.
So
it ran on Adult Swim for like a decade and never didn't do well the entire time.
So I would like to see more Bleach episodes, both professionally and personally. Did very well for us.
It's doing very well.
Solid Toonami anchor.
Yeah, it did very well.
I mean, it does seem kind of crazy that after almost 400 episodes of the show, it's just like, figure it out.
I'm going to wait till someone writes some comic books.
So this is our promo for the finale, quote-unquote, of Bleach, which doesn't really... I mean, it resolves...
that story arc.
That saga, but not the overall story. So here we go.
Well, it's been a long time coming, but everything ends in the end.
What's going on?
You catch on quickly.
Next Saturday, we're showing the last new episode of Bleach.
No way. Impossible.
So show up at midnight and bear witness to Ichigo and Ginjo's final battle.
That was pretty good.
One substitute Shinigami is going to make it out alive, and there's only one place to find out which.
It's time for you to make your move.
Bankai.
Bleach, next Saturday night at midnight.
I really wanted to avoid killing you if I could.
Only Toonami on Adult Swim.
Farewell, Bleach.
Yeah. So
I won't miss that haircut, though.
Mine?
No, his.
Oh, yeah.
Or yours, but definitely his is what I was talking about in that instance.
Fair enough. And finally, for me, is Hellsing Unlimited. Ultimate that I wrote on the rundown sheet is Unlimited.
Hellsing Unlimited is the sequel.
That would be the next saga.
That would be the one.
Be awesome.
But just like Justice League Unlimited, the Hellsing crew is like in a space station.
Yeah.
And they have like 100 members of the organization.
I mean, Unlimited, you really can't put limitations on it, I think. So
the Hellsings are unlimited.
So for Hellsing Ultimate, the story does wrap up pretty well. It's definitely not as open-ended as like Trigon, where you're waiting for more to happen. I mean, you kind of figure out that life is just going to end. But I do really like this world.
Ends? What do you mean?
Well, for
like my
most
life
of us,
is going to end?
Yeah, today.
At some point?
Yeah, today.
Why today?
Because I'm going to end it.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. I've heard that before.
Yeah, well, today it's true.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But
tune in next week for Gil's solo hosting.
Yeah. And if we're taking applications for more Toonami pre-flight hosts.
And if next week I'm here, you know what I know, which is
I failed.
You're full of shit.
Well, I could try.
And you failed.
Your life.
Both.
Right.
You're both a failure and full of shit.
That's probably accurate.
Yeah. Okay.
So Hellsing, the Hellsing Ultimate is the OVA rendition of this episode. Why do we have a recording light if people just walk in?
Why do we have a recording light when people just walk in?
And I know that they rearranged the studio so that it wouldn't.
Welcome to Adult Swim streaming, where you have a recording light over the door, and motherfuckers just walk on in.
So that would be the sequel I would like to see.
Someone's just walked into our studio. Sorry, guys. But we are going to get revenge and find out what show he's doing, and we're just going to pop our big fat heads in right in the middle of his recording.
Of Stupid Morning Bullshit, which streams
Stupid
live
Morning
every
Bullshit.
morning at 11 a.m.
Stupid Morning Bullshit, you're about to see our fat
near you.
heads. Now, back to our regularly scheduled Hellsing Unlimited.
I want to try and get that off the ground because that's such
that's
a great
name,
that,
for real.
I'm going to write my
call up the Hellsing. Hey, call up the Hellsing people. Got a name for you. It's all good. Let's make a movie. We're going to make $1 million.
So this is our finale promo for Hellsing Ultimate, which we had planned on getting all 10 episodes of the OVA. Then there was a little bit of a hiccup, so we had
more of a legal glitch.
Bit of a break. And then we premiered this in our month of movies.
You guys lied. You said all 10. And then we brought them back.
So
we weren't lying.
We weren't lying. We were just momentary failures.
Yeah, that's all.
So here it is.
We were being human.
Finale promo.
At long last, our war has dawned.
I will find Alucard, and I will defeat him.
Give me your orders, master.
Release your full power! Now!
We heard your voices.
Those undead Nazi bastards are going to pay.
We made some calls.
You are in for such a treat.
Now get ready to see how the story concludes.
This is it, Alucard. You cannot defeat me. It's time for Hellsing to take center stage.
Let's do this.
Watch the final 2 episodes of Hellsing Ultimate. The beginning of the end starts next Saturday at midnight.
Any last requests?
Only Toonami on Adult Swim.
You would think if there's any cause that could unite all of humanity, it would be undead Nazi bastards, but evidently that's still a dividing line.
There's still people who just don't get it.
So those are some of our how we phrase the.
Let's see what the
question.
fans have to say.
Let's see what the fans
Adult
have to
Swim
say.
Facebook top 5 anime sequels. Samurai Champloo, yeah, I would like to see more. Bebop, I am torn because, like Outlaw Star, I feel like that's a fascinating world, but I don't feel like we need more Spike because that story
more
feels...
stories in that world of other people I would be down with.
Dead Man Wonderland, Trigon, Outlaw Star, obviously Adult Swim Facebook agrees with us. No King of the Hill.
Yeah, I think
we made it without
outlived
King of the Hill. Yeah, we made
the trolls.
The King of the Hill jokes have finally
disappointed
died.
in you, Adult Swim Facebook.
I thought you guys cared more than that. So let's go to the Toonami Facebook top 5 anime sequels they would like to see. Bebop #1, Bleach, Rurouni Kenshin, Outlaw Star. Wow, great minds.
Boom.
Great minds. I think this is a good cross section. I think if anyone's paying attention who might work in the industry and sees these, you should go try to get these sequels made.
Yeah.
And we would like to show them.
We'll run them. Contact our lawyers.
So that's it for that topic. And today we have a not sneak peek, but a re-peek at a former sneak.
That was nicely done.
For our Toonami lineup promo.
Which, if you didn't watch Toonami last Saturday, you probably haven't seen. So if
you didn't watch Toonami last Saturday, I want to know why. It was the final episode of Parasite you should have been watching.
Yeah.
Arguably, you screwed up. But here's your chance.
Here's your repeat.
Here's your chance to get on board for this week
promo.
with Hunter x Hunter and see all the wonderful things that we have to show you. And here's a promo that explains all of those wonderful things.
Toonami's new lineup is locked and loaded, Tom.
Cool. Then it's go time.
Let's do this.
Whatever their weak point is, I'll fight it. Big Bang Attack!
This is fresh.
DBZ Kai wallops and pummels at midnight.
Let's trash this place.
Then Dimension W powers the world at 12:30.
We live in an age of warfare.
Hunter x Hunter joins the block at 1.
Seems this poor man's arms have turned into flower petals.
Samurai Champloo keeps the brawl at 1:30. This is one opponent that I cannot kill.
Don't even think about making it out of here alive! Come on, y'all!
Shippuden storms in at 2.
Where there's smoke, there's always fire!
Then get your thrills with One Piece at 2:30.
How splendid! Everyone is
And Parasite finishes the night at 3.
You should be using your brains to fight, not run and hide!
Toonami, every Saturday from midnight to 3:30.
Well, there you have it.
Perfection! Here's one more for the road!
Sucks when your arms turn into flowers.
Yeah. Much better when they turn into swords.
Happens to me all the time. And then finally, this week, we have an episode of You Tweet Me Watch. Gotta speak super slow so the graphic can come up.
There's a comma in the graphics.
Miss Dana Swanson, voice of Sarah. Basically, for You Tweet Me Watch, she takes your suggestions for pre-2000 anime that she should watch that she's never seen, and then reviews them and sends us a review. So this week, she decided to do the classic, what I view as a classic. I'm not sure what Dana thinks of it. We're about to find out. The classic Slayers, which we, full disclosure, tried to get on Toonami many times and did not happen due to various rights bullshit issues. But we came very close to getting Slayers on, and I would like to have gotten on there.
And now we sort of do in a
roundabout way,
streaming digital way.
So let's see what Dana has to say about Slayers.
Hello, everybody, taking the time to watch this. This is You Tweet Me Watch, a segment with just a hair too many hashtagable syllables where you, the viewer, suggest to me, at Dana is a Girl or Dana Swanson, any pre-2K anime that you think I should watch.
You're obviously a man who knows quality.
This one I've heard a little bit about, not too much though. It was actually suggested by @PhantomStar64, who said, I got a You Tweet Me Watch for ya. It's called Slayers. And then, actually, according to my sporadically kept records, it was also suggested a year ago by a different person. So, @PocketMikey, Slayers is super quintessential 90s jams. Enjoy. Thank you. Okay, Slayers. So far, it's not about a thrash metal band going on adventures or somehow tying into the Buffy universe. It's a 1995 anime series about a teen magicianer, sorceress, badass named Lena Inverse. She's got great hair. Just look at the hair similarities. Well, mine's all tied back. Maybe I should take it down. Do this. Are we the same? Did we do it?
I don't mean to interrupt, but...
Anyway, enter her traveling companion, Gory. He's chivalrous and kind of a dum-dum head.
You just took my sausage! I was just
You were just staring into space, so I figured you didn't want it.
Well, I did!
Together, they explore teen angst and the female experience. That's what the show is about to me. What it's like to be a teenage girl.
Isn't that cute? A girl with self-esteem.
Lena wants to be treated like a woman, but already men are judging her body and her capabilities. Her companion Gory even remarks on her breast size at one point.
I thought I was saving a babe, a luscious damsel in distress. Not some flat-chested little girl.
Awkward turtle.
Wow, it makes your chest look even smaller.
Hey, what does that mean?
Anyway, she uses black magic and she's learning how to function in the world. She's learning how to negotiate.
The price for it is $12
million!
Aha!
I knew you guys were gonna react that way. You guys are all the same. You make big promises you can't keep. You said I could set the price and it's only 100 times the street value. Come on, come on, come on! Either pay up or shut up!
I didn't say negotiate well.
How about 6 million?
Ah, 6 million?
She's a super awesome treasure stealer and maybe considered a thief. Overall, it's really fun. The plot's a bit confusing, though.
The powers of Seafeed and Chabernigdo are still in constant battle. And because the balance of peace in this world was broken by them, all kinds of monsters were loosed and began appearing to roam the earth. So do you understand it now?
Not at all.
She has objects that whispery-ass Zelgoddess wants.
I've come to get the item I've already discussed with you.
And the Red Priest Rezo wants to protect.
Rezo, the Red Priest!
Yes, that is a name they sometimes call me.
Oh!
So this guy's famous?
And that may bring about Chabernigdo.
Chabernigdo?
Chabernigdo.
You mean to tell me you don't know anything about Chabernigdo?
Shabazz Branna.
Chabernigdo, the Demon King.
It's split into 7 pieces. It reminds you a little of a thing called Harry Potter.
I don't mean to interrupt, but...
Why do I get a feeling that Lena is linked to all this bad stuff somehow? Overall, super fun. It's a high fantasy parody. I'm going to leave you with this quote. According to the Anime Encyclopedia, Helen McCarthy called it the antidote to the deadly serious Record of Lodoss War. So maybe that's a good double duty for you. Or maybe if you watched Record of Lodoss War, you kind of want to watch this and laugh it all off. Anyway, this has been Dana Swanson, voice of Sarah, and check this out. Whoa! Is there popcorn on that seat?
Yeah, I think I agree pretty much with Dana wholeheartedly. I like Slayer's super fun show. They made a whole bunch of episodes, and that was during a time where I really wanted fantasy on Toonami. You know, in addition to Dragon Ball's fantasy, but has elements of sci-fi, but I wanted like high fantasy. And there weren't that many shows because it was pre-Lord of the Rings days. Yeah. So it was like Lodoss War and Slayers, both of which we tried to get on Toonami and both of which didn't happen. But I disagree about the Lodoss War shade. That shit is awesome. So they're both awesome.
Yeah.
Just different flavors.
Can't you have both?
Yeah, just different flavors, you know, of ice cream. You can still enjoy butter pecan and pistachio, just not at the same time. Or maybe if you're crazy.
Sure.
Let's keep talking about ice cream. Let's just keep this going for a long time.
All right. What?
I just learned that butter pecan is one of the top 4 most popular flavors in America, which blows my mind.
That doesn't seem accurate.
I've had it all of like twice.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Well, I don't think how it's made would lie to me. Would they lie? Do you think they would lie to me? I don't think they would.
What are the other top 3?
I trust that double.
So
dare.
it's
I trust
vanilla,
that double
chocolate,
dare,
strawberry, and butter pecan.
Yep, those are the 4 most popular flavors in America.
I don't believe you.
What's your
made.
favorite flavor? Do you even eat ice cream?
Yeah,
sick
sea
bastard?
salt caramel. I like strawberry. I like mint chocolate chip.
Strawberry, doesn't he?
I
have not. I will say I haven't seen you eat ice cream very often. Almost never.
Work is not the most conducive ice cream eating environment.
We see each other outside of work. Been on many world trips with you.
Come
friend.
down to Morelli's, right around the corner from my house. It's the best ice cream in the city.
That's also not true. But all right, cool.
Bullshit, it's not true.
You can kill me over it. We both know that's not going to happen either, though.
All right, here we go.
Thanks for watching. We'll be back next week with another topic and another episode because this grind must continue.
Someday this war is going to end.
Someday this war is going to end.
See ya.
Thanks.